correct? System.out.println, and we will get an output into the console. Sometimes what happen that you don't want your output to show to the maybe user. You want your output to be carried forward for any other functionalities, and it would be used there. Okay, it would be an intermediate method, just suppose. Okay, and that intermediate method will give you some output which is needed for the final result. So there is no meaning to like system.out.println for an intermediate result. So for an output which you want to make it dynamic, means it's not dependent, it will not be printing any hard-coded values and all. So for that, return type is very, very important. Now, if any method is trying to return you something, that means that method would be returning any particular data type, correct? It may return anything, int, short, byte, long, boolean, double, float, char, string, array, anything it may return. So whatever you want to make return by any particular method, it's always best that you use that particular data type in place of void. So we have different data types, right? So if your method is returning any particular data type, so you have to mention that here. If your method is not returning anything, then you have to mention void there. Void means zero or nothing, right? It's blank. And any return type would be always paired. Any return type would be always paired with return statement. There would be a return and the particular value of to it. That's how it works. So for return type, you guys get it. So let's try with another thing. So public static. Let's go ahead with static as a string name. Here I'll give the return uh, s. What is s? It is throw error now, but slowly it will understand. String s equals to, let's put string equals to name. Yes, how I'm making it dynamic, you will see. Yeah. Scan. Here you can see so. Return s, right? So I can go to the main method. Where is the main method? Here. So I can call that see now it's totally dynamic, right? I'm taking the username by the user. I'm just returning that same name, right? I'm saving that name into the variable s. I'm returning the s. That means the name is coming here through this method of name. And later I'm printing out whatever the username user has put, it would be printed out address.name. I'm not using here CISO. I'm using this as an intermediate method so that later we can use it anywhere, whatever the output this method has to offer. See if we run it now, enter your name, it's asking. So let's put, see, name of the user is Amitabh. Any doubt on the return type? Hello?
No, Ankit. No,
Others?
no,
Okay.
Amita.
Now this return type will actually help you to create, like if you remember, we created a calculator, right? But if you want to create a complex calculator where only not one operation, but plus, minus, multiplication, all these things can happen all together. So this return type you can use it. So can you guys give it a try for like Monday? I'll see a complicated calculator where at least I want to do first two digits would be plus, then it would be minus, then the result would be multiplied by another number, which user would be putting in using the return type. Okay.
Can you repeat it again, Amka?
So I want a complex calculator where like till now we created a calculator, if you remember, we just did one operation, either sum or sub or multiplication or division, right? As per the user input. Now we want to do one calculator where we will have maybe three digits, okay, and two operations will happen. First one is sum, first two digits will get summed up, then the third digit will get like maybe multiplied with the result of the first two, like that.
Okay.
It will be a little bit hard, but let's see, because we are going to cover a little bit today, that will help you guys also. Return type is important there. Now, okay, let's come out of that. I'll explain it again. Don't worry. So now we have seen public static void. Till here, everything is clear, right? So why we are writing public, why we are writing static, why we are writing void. Now all comes to method name. Now here we have one important thing. So this line, like this line, what you see here, we can say that method is getting initialized here, right? Correct? Like for any variable, this is the initialization, right? For any method, this is the initialization. That method is getting initialized here, and method is getting declared here. The all the details of the method is inside of the body, but method initialization is happening here. So any method initialization have few parts. What is that? Access modifiers, then static or non-static identity, then return type, then the last part is method signature. What is method signature? Signature, we say something that will identify that particular entity, right? For me, my signature will identify me. There might be 100 Amitabh in the world, but my own signature will only identify me. That's how the bankers or any account holders will identify you, right? There might be with your same name, with your same surname, there might be 100 people in this world, but your own signature will identify that. So just like that, methods are also signature sensitive. Two same methods may not have same signature ever. What is signature consist of? Signature consists of name, the method name, okay, method name, and the other thing is parameter. What is parameter and how it works? I'll come to everything. So method name, that means in a same class, in a same house, there can't be two master bedrooms. So if we have already a method called a name, if you see I try to initialize the same thing again, say it's throwing error, duplicate method in the class of arrays. This is the arrays class, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like method is also very sensitive with their own signature. So two methods can't have the same name in a same class. Okay. Now what is a parameter, boss? This is a new word. We have learned about the packages, which are area. We have learned about the classes, which are the houses. We have learned about the methods, which are the rooms. Now, what are these parameters inside a method? You can think of parameters as a key. So every room has its own door, right? Master bedroom will have its own door, or children's room will have its own door. Drawing room will have its own door. Study room will have its own door. Drawing room may not have, but just an example. So these doors will be unlocked by a particular key. So parameters are something which we can pass, and it would be working as a key for that method. So with that particular keys only, that particular door will open. Okay, what I'm trying to say. And these parameters are basically a particular variable we are passing. Okay, so if we have to show it an example, okay, let's take the sum method which we have. if you want to parameterize how it will work, this is the sum, it's throwing error now, correct? Because this is a duplicate of sum. But with if once I say boss, there are two keys here. See, the error is gone. I'm passing two keys here. This method would be unlocked with two key. What I said, method signature. Method signature consists of method name and parameter. Because the signature got changed, there is no error anymore. You can see it, right? Again, I'm showing you once I if the signature is removed again, then it is the same method. That's why it's throwing the error. Signature consists of method name, so method name is same. That's why. But we can pass parameters. Parameters are nothing but variables we are passing. Sorry. So they would be working as keys. So I am passing two variables, int x, int y. So with variable of two integers, sorry, with key of two integers, this sum method will unlock. Okay. Now what will happen? I don't need anything inside it anymore. So how we are gonna work with it? Let's see. So what I have done, I have said public static void sum. There are two keys x plus y and system.out.println x plus y. So if I go to the main method and uh, okay, main method I'm making blank again. Okay, and I will go arrays dot. See, there are two sum methods. One sum is without any key. One sum is with keys. You can see, right? So I'm passing one key here. So let's give the first number 5. Let's give the second number 10. And I run the code. See 15. What happened? I called this sum method here in the main method. Okay. The compiler saw sum method as called. It went to the sum method and checked. Okay, was you wanted to add two integers, whatever is given as a parameter, and print it out. So it got printed out. And it's too dynamic. You can see, right? There is no scanner needed, no scan needed. Whatever the data I'm putting there while calling the method, that only will help you to get that output. Now let's make it return type integer. Not only I want to like print out this, I'll not print this out anymore. So return x plus y. And you can see with the return type, with the return type in the method line, the return statement is getting highlighted because they are a pair. Okay. Now I have to print it out because there is only return statement. That means if I try to do this, there would be no output. The return would be only saved. So if I run this, see, there is no output. Then I have to print it out. So if I run it now, you will see 15 again. Now you will tell me, boss, you have given two keys here. Correct. Let's get one more sum method. Okay. Though it's getting complicated, but I'll try to make it very simple as much as possible. Till now, everything clear, guys? Whatever happened?
Yes, something.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So I
Yeah,
have
hi
given here
Madhab.
two. Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Like whenever we are using the written keyword, where it will store the value. I guess even it is not printing at anywhere.
So because see, if your method is static, then the return value would be saved in a stat memory for the further use. I told, right? So return statement is something that you can further use this method for the output of any other method. Okay. So if your method is static, it will go for the stat memory save, stat memory like saving this particular value for the method return. And if you are not using the static method, it will go for the heap memory only.
Okay. The reference point is method only, right?
Reference point is that It's something like ATM, bro. Like you went to the ATM. So until unless you are giving all the data, I want the language English. I have a savings account and I want this much of money. All these things are getting saved until unless you give the correct pin. It's not getting, all these things are not getting compiled up, right? You're getting my point.
Yeah.
So it's something like that. This return type we'll be using mostly when we have another method dependent on the output of this. System.out.println is something of a final result. You already got the output. This is the output. And return statements are used for intermediary methods. Like I have got the subtraction result from this method. On top of it, I have to do a multiplication. So for intermediary method, I don't need to print it out, right? So this method, whatever it has to return, I'll just save it in heap memory or stack memory, depending on the method like calibration. And on top of it, I'll do the multiplication and then I'll give the final result as CISO.
Okay. Yeah.
I think a little bit clear, right?
Yeah. It's okay now.
Oh,
Thank you.
Amitabh,
yeah.
can I? I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
it is this is a valid question or not, but I want to ask you, Amitabh, we created some method, right, in one class. So if
Yeah.
you want to use this that same some method in another class, so we have to change the parameter. I'd like
You don't have to change the parameter, right? So I have one sum method without any parameter, correct? I
yes,
have
but
another
here
sum
you
method.
changed int x and int y. You changed right in
Sorry.
some in 45 line. You changed right
No,
inside the
I said
some
like what I'm trying to say. A method consists of access modifiers, which is public, private, default, protected, correct? Static or non-static identity. That means if I give static, it's a static method. If I don't give static, it's a non-static method. So
non-static. Yes.
return type. So I may have void or any other data type inside it, correct? Then I have a
Yes.
method signature. Method
Mhm.
signature is something which consists of method name and parameters. Okay. So if you see, once I remove these parameters, I already have a method with the same signature line then, right? That's why it's throwing error.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
But once I add, because the parameter is a part of method signature, right? So I'm adding
Yes.
parameters
Yes.
with two integers.
Yes. Yes.
So when it's seeing that boss, this is a different room. Why? Because it has a door. And not only a door, it doors like it particular door has two keys which will be opened by two integers. And that's what, like, if you, when I called this method, I had to pass two keys, right?
Yes. Yes.
Without
Yes.
if I don't pass those keys, it would be acting like this room, this particular sum room, which doesn't have any door itself. It's a direct entry.
Yes. Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Clear for others? Any doubts? There is nothing as valid question, non-valid question. Anything you guys can ask. If it's, see, something is always what might be bothering you, that I'm not getting only this, but should I ask this question or not? You may ask freely, okay? Because even sometimes a very silly question may give a huge prospect to discuss, okay? So
Yes. Thank you, Amitabh. Thank you.
uh, anyone have any doubts?
No, Amitabh.
Good.
Yeah, it's clear, Amitabh.
Okay. A lot of Deepikas said together. Okay. Now I have got one sum method which will open by two integers, correct? Very good. So now I want to create one more sum method, one more room. Like I may have multiple bedrooms. Not necessarily they have to be master bedroom, right? But I may have 3 or 4 bedrooms in my house altogether. If I have, I have 5-story building. So this particular sum room, now again it's throwing error. Why? Because it's saying it already has a method of the same signature. See, only the signature part is getting error. You can see, right? Name and the parameter. So what the way to change it? Let's create a lock which is not same as before. So let's put string. Yes. Now the lock has changed because it's a different data type. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amita. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, Amitabh.
Okay. So this is one thing. Again, let's create another. Now again, it's throwing error. Boss, you are giving again the same locks. So let's change the sequence. Again corrected. Why the sequence change has mattered? If you have guys have seen, maybe I'm not sure. In old days Almiras, there used to be two locks and in sequence. Like you have to put the two number key first. Once it open, then only you can put the one number key, or else the first one number key will not work. You can think of it something like that. That here and here the difference is the sequence of the keys. Here the integer would be passed first, then the string. Here the string would be passed first, then the integer. And that's where the difference is coming between these two rooms. Okay. So now if somewhere I go, all these are static methods, right? If I give arrays dot, you can see how many sum methods are there with all the possible results, right? Some with no parameter, some with integer x and integer y, some with integer x and string s, and some with string s and integer x. Correct? So
Yes.
please remember this thing is called as method overloading. It's a huge concept. Method overloading. What is method overloading? Having same method with different
Different arguments.
parameter sets.
Parameters.
Parameters.
Different parameters or sets. Even one parameter may different set. And this from here, if the interviewer is like me, he's gonna destroy you. Okay. So what is gonna say? So I have methods like this: integer x, integer y. I have one more method, but what is integer y, integer x. I have one more method which is sum integer x and string s. Okay. So here I have written four sum methods, right? With different parameters. So now here all these four overloaded. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
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 Amita.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Whoever is saying yes, raise your hand. I want to see the faces. No, no, it's not like you guys are saying wrong. Just I want to know. All these methods are overloaded or not? You guys can see. Raise your hand within next 10 or 15 seconds. I want to see it together.
With one sum method used with different parameters.
Hmm. All these parameters are different, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So all these methods are overloaded.
But method is same. Method is same. But
Method is
Methods
same.
are
Correct.
different
Method
parameters.
method is same.
I thought it is overloaded. That's why I raised it.
That's okay. Did I say that you were wrong? I said whoever thinks this is method overloading is happening here, please raise your hand.
Okay.
What happened to others? They are like, so either the rest of the people has to be like, okay, boss, I did not understood at all what you are saying, or it's not overloading. Okay, so you guys raised, most of the people raised hands. That's a good thing. Almost 15 people. You guys can lower your hand, no issues. And the thing is, they are not overloaded. Why? So this and this we already see this is overloading, correct?
Yes.
But these two pair is actually not overloaded because they are the integers only. Two integer keys would be same. It doesn't matter what is the variable name I'm giving here.
Sometimes, hi Amitabh, sometimes the operations, even though those two integers are there, but sometimes operations in the methods might be different, right? I mean, we may write different code in the.
Correct.
In that case, it should be overload.
No. Method overloading only and only depends on method signature line. This total thing. See, I have just created the same scenario which I have given here, right? Method operations inside the method doesn't matter if it's happening with the method overloading or not. Don't get this concept. Method overloading one and only depends with method signature line. Okay.
Okay.
So here actually I gave the trick because see, when you would be later calling this method arrays dot, see, it doesn't matter to them what is the sequence for integer x and integer y because they would be just showing you have to pass two integers.
Yeah. Yes.
So for here and here, it's same, right? I have to pass two integers only. It is the same key basically. So these two are not overloaded. But with respect to any of these two, like these three are overloaded, or these two and the first line is overloaded. Clear? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These three are overloaded. That's what I'm saying. These
Yep.
three are method overloading example of each other. Clear, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, now let's increase the difficulty level. I shouldn't have deleted that. I could have used it somehow. If any one of you goes and search in internet, I'm gonna kill. Rather be honest here so that you guys can at least learn what is happening. Ah, now tell me, all this four altogether is overloaded? Yes or no?
Yes.
Someone just left the meeting. Whoever thinks it's overloaded, this four, I'll give in the chat 1 second. It would be easier for me also to see you guys than raising hand. Control C, come here in the chat, Control V. See once. Whoever thinks this. So here the little twist that I have changed not only the parameters but also the return type of these methods. Okay. So now are they overloaded? So if I ask you the question, okay, lower your hand, guys. Whoever is raising, 4 people, lower your hand. My first question is the first one and second one overloaded or not? First and second.
Yes.
Wow.
Not
No,
overload.
no, sir. It's like a
Not
method
overload.
Not
overload means
overloaded,
different
No.
Amita.
parameters
Oh,
in a
yeah.
method.
I do.
Yes.
It's
We have
like
take
the same
parameters in the
data
return
type
method and
in
one in the
first and second.
another
Okay.
method.
The reasons will come to a little bit later. First tell me yes or no. First two.
No, Amita.
No, sir.
No,
Yeah,
Amita, we have
according
not
No,
overloaded.
no, sir.
No.
Okay.
Amita.
First and
according to
second.
method signature, it not overloaded.
Okay,
Yes.
first and second is not overloaded
Overload.
because you guys are saying integer and integer, both the methods have the same keys, right? Then if we consider the first and third, are they overloaded?
Can you show me this one?
You can see in the chat, right? This one and this one.
Third one is overloaded,
Third
but
one
first
is
one is
overloaded.
not.
Third one.
Overloading and first one is not overloaded.
The first and
Third
third
one
is
is
overloaded.
first
Third
one.
one is
Only third
overloaded, but
one is
first one is
overloaded.
not
Third one.
overloaded.
No, no. What I'm saying,
Different
see,
parameters.
overloading,
Same.
guys, come down. So, see,
No.
overloading is something with respect to another method. Overloading doesn't happen all alone. First, right? Overloading is something only you can say, boss, because that method is same and I am same and I have keys. Then only I am overloaded. So, I am
Yes,
comparing first one and third one. First and third.
Mm.
it
Now,
overloads Amitabh.
okay, it's overloaded. So, who are saying that this is overloaded? Raise your hand. First and third. First and third. One is public static void sum integer x integer y and public static int sum integer x string s. Here also you can see this is the first one and this is the third one. Please raise your hand in next 10 to 15 seconds.
In first line you mentioned void type, right? So that's why I'm thinking it is not overload.
Even I hope so.
Okay, so 5 people only thinking it's overloaded because the parameter has been changed, right? The argument has been changed.
Yes,
Integer to integer string, correct?
yes,
And okay, please keep your hands raised. So Pravanya, why you think it's not overloaded?
Like the written type is different, right? For the methods.
Okay, and due to that,
So that is the reason. Like I'm thinking like that is not overloaded. I think.
okay, okay. Saujanya?
I too feel the same because the written type is different. That's why it's not overloaded.
Okay, so let's try. I think we have some, right? So this is integer, this is integer. Okay, let's, if I make it void, that would work same, right? Then it would be comparable with this one, correct? Correct? That would be the same scenario, right? Integer
Yes.
sum.
Yes.
Okay, void. Bro, it's same only. The return type differences matters only, right? So I'm making it void. Now you are telling me if it's method overloading example or not. Again, I'm giving you two methods here, basically. Two methods. One is returning integer with integer x, integer y. If you see the method signature, basically they have the same name with different argument. That means they are overloading, correct? But
Yes, Amitabh.
once any of these three changes, remember this, okay? The answer would be no, they are not overloaded. Why? Any of these three changes, public access modifier or static non-static identity or the return type, the method itself is different. It's not the same method at all. Why? It's something you went to an ATM machine. The void ATM machine will only show you what is your balance in your account. And the return, the particular return ATM machine will give you the money back to you. You can withdraw the cash from there. The difference is that the methods are not same. Two machines are not same. Any of these three being different, we can't call it as method overloading anymore. Method overloading conditions are the method has to be same, the method has to be has same name and different parameter sets. Method overloading happens in three conditions. Okay, it's very important. That's why I ask this question in my interviews. That boss, you have three conditions to fulfill. That is same method. Same method means the first three things. What is access modifier, static, non-static identity, and return type? Then you have to check the name. Name has to be same, and then it has to be parameters. Parameters has to be in either different parameter altogether, different parameters, like it has integer, it has strings. Something is different parameters, or different sequence. It has integer string, it has string integer. Anything may work. Only these three conditions having satisfied, it will be called as method overloading. Method overloading means same method, as I said, same room, same bedrooms with different set of keys. And method overloading, I told only it depends on and only in method signature, not in other parts. So if they don't depend on other parts, they has to be the same. Like they has to be same that public static int. If it is returning int, the other method also has to return int. Or else, when you are calling here arrays dot, you will see it has the difference of integer and void. This will not work. They are not same method at all.
Okay, Amitabh.
Mostly see, they will not go in this much depth. People will only consider about this part. Okay, I'm sure. They will only consider about this method signature part. They will ask what is the method overloading. It's a very important question. What is the method overloading? Method overloading is something having the same method with different set of parameters in the same class. Then we can say that we have overloaded a particular method. That's it. Now if they want to like if they ask you to give some example, you can
ఈరోజు
always
లేట్
go.
జాయిన్ అయినాడు లేట్ దుబ్బుతా అన్నాడు లేకపోతే 10 to 10:45 బంద్ అవుతుండే టూ
One
ఇయర్స్
minute.
ఫ్యామిలీ ఎప్పుడు
So you can always show the examples. Okay, so that's it. This is called method overloading. What you have to practice here. So the task I have given you for the calculator to make a little bit more complicated, you can use the parameters there. It would be very easy, right? You'll not need much help then. So parameters are very important thing in coding, or arguments also. People may say also arguments. Okay, so whatever I am calling as parameter has a different name too, which is called arguments. Okay, and whatever the methods I'm saying, methods are also having a different name, that is function. Interviewer may use the term, okay, what do you mean by function overloading? Don't get panicked. Function overloading is method overloading. Method also called are functions, because they only decide the function, right? All the functions are happening inside a method basically. All the activities, all the functions are happening inside a method. That's why they are called functions too. And parameters are called argument due to this. We are passing the arguments here, right? It's basically string array of arguments, args. So from the main method only, it got the name that was we pass the arguments in the parameters. Clear? Any doubts still here? So we learned about that method is a room. We learned about method scope, that room's boundary, which is this braces. So we learned about method declaration and initialization. So initialization is something which will hold these four things: the access modifier, static, non-static identity, return type, method signature. Then we learn what is method signature. Method signature is method name and the parameters or arguments inside it. Then we learn, depending on this parameter and arguments, it would be changing and it would be called method overloading, with the conditions having the same method name, and the parameters having a different set of parameters or different sequence of parameters. And whatever we will be writing inside the scope of a method would be called method Declaration. We are declaring everything inside it. That's it. That's all about the methods. It took 2 days almost to discuss the methods, and it's a huge important thing. Clear, guys? 1 second.
Yes.
Shina, any doubt? You are raising. You have doubts?
No, Amitabh, yeah, no. Thank you.
Okay. Any doubts, others from method? Please practice the method overloading as much as possible. Okay, like write the same method in your whole class, change the parameters, try to do it, play with it. You have time till Monday. I'll be connecting Monday again. And so try the method overloading, try to work with all these things. I think hopefully you guys have tried like how to call the static method, how to call the non-static methods, right?
Yes, Amitabh. We tried.
Yes. Let me check what's for the next topic. Accordingly, I'll proceed. So we have covered method parameters, method overloading. Recursions, I don't think we need right now. Okay, we'll see. Recursions will come later. Then they are started with classes. Okay, no issues. So we'll slowly enter the oops now from Monday. Not slowly, like we have already entered the oops basically. Methods, starting the methods, it's oops only.